Hello friends, welcome to SQL Server tutorial. In this video, we are going to explore extended events. Extended events are one more technique to perform tracing of the SQL Server database. Previously, we used the SQL profiler to perform traces, and then we also used the server-side tracing to capture the trace events. Now we will see one more technique called extended events, and using that we will capture a similar event which we saw in SQL profiler. But extended events supports a lot of other events, and I am leaving it for your exploration. So the view look somewhat different when compared to SQL profiler. Here you are seeing these are all the captured event name and the timestamp. So here you can see the event name, and here you can see the timestamp. And when you click a specific event, you will get the detail view. So the detail view displays a lot of fields and its corresponding value. So here, if you're saying there is something called statement, and that shows what is the SQL statement that got executed. Also, you will see username and which user is performing this activity. And here, the statement what we highlighted is SQL statement completed. So once you select it, you will see all the events captured in the detail view. All right, now let's go to the demo and look at extended events capability in SQL Server. Now we are at SQL Server, and under the management node you can see extended events, and under extended events there are pre-created session, and one session is switched off, always on health, and other two events are running here. One is system health and another one is telemetry X events. So we can create our own extended event session. So for that we have to right click and choose new session or new session wizard. So let's go ahead with the new session wizard. This will help in configuring our extended event session. So this is the new session wizard. So just click the next, and we will name it as student table monitor. So let's click next here. So we no need to check this because we are just doing the demo. Next, choose a template. In that we are making use this event session template, and you can see there are a lot of events template available here, and the event templates are grouped under different section. One is locks and blocks. So this is one template, and profiler equivalents, stored procedure count, TSQL stored procedure. So this is one group, and we will go with query execution and choose SQL batch tracking. So you can read the description here, and you can also select specific session and read the description, and that's the easy way of learning what this event session template will do. Let's go ahead with query batch tracking. This template collects batch and RPC level statement as well as error information, and you can read other sentences. So now let's click next here. So we selected the group, use this template, query batch tracking template. That's what we have chosen here in the previous wizard step. And here in the group, so this is the group, right? Event name, this is event library, and this one is group. So in this combo group, we will just choose event names only, the default one. So here, if you see, there are numerous events available, and in the category we can deselect all and choose errors, or we will go for execution. So that will be easy to follow. So if we go for error, then we have to simulate DB with the error by doing some constraint violation or some other DB related error. But the easy stuff we can experiment is execution. That's why I picked execution from the group. We can close the category. We deselected all and picked only the execution category. Now the list displays only the event that belongs to the execution category. So we filtered that. So we will look for in the right hand side. If you see, there are already some event which got selected. One is error reported, remote procedure call completed, occurs when a template procedure call has completed, SQL batch completed, right? Now so batch, in the sense, if we select multiple statement, that one is called batch, and we will look at any statement related query here. So here it is there, SQL statement, or you can even go for a search here, just type statement and it filters out all the event that belongs to the statement. SP statement completed, and here we are interested in SQL statement completed, and we will add it to the existing selected event. There are 3 selected events under the selected events category. Now I am picking SQL statement completed and moving it towards the right. So now we have one more event, occurs when a transact SQL statement has been completed. Now we will proceed with the next step. Here, if you see, we have selected query batch tracking template, then we have selected the events. Now we will pick for the column field. We will pick database name. We will pick database name. We will also pick username here, and we will proceed with the next step. If you see, there are already some field got selected, and you can read the description. Client app name, collect client application name, and there are a lot of fields. Database ID, collect database ID, database name, collect current database name. So this is what we selected. Query hash, session ID and username. All these fields are selected. So here you can apply filters on events to limit the data you want to capture, right? This we already saw in the UI based profiler. The same step here we are doing. So click here to add a class. So SQL Server database name, because we are picking this database name field, right? If you want to quickly see that here, if you see, we are picking database name, and now we are applying the filter condition for that field, SQL Server database name, and you can peek through the list. There are other column as well. Here we are just choosing database name. It lists all, whether you are displaying only selective field here, you can still filter other entry. For example, if I filter only specific username, say for example the username Robert, if here username is there, right? Username Robert. If I put that filter only username Robert needs to filtered, then I no need to specify that column name here. Anyhow, it will display only Robert on this column, right? So username is meaningless on that, in that sense. Here also I picked a database name, but here if you see, we are going to use SQL Server database name equal to pubs. So the database name column is useful if you select more than one database. Here if you see, if you want to put one more database, SQL Server database name, it should be either pubs or Northwind, right? That's the condition we added, and we added it for the SQL Server database name. So if you want to add more condition, you can proceed with the event selection and click next here. So by default here, this is in checked state, and the title says specify how you want to collect the data for analysis. Work with only the most recent data. That means the data will be replaced, and it is useful if you want to monitor for last 1 hour data. But if you want to if you don't want to the content to be replaced, then you have to uncheck this. Save data to a file for later analysis. So we can do this. Here we are just doing the SQL batch completed and statement completed, right? You can use this extended event session for database lock and other events as well. So we don't know at what time this event may happen, so that's why we can go for a continuous monitor, and on that case this specific caption will be useful. So monitor for last 1 hour or 2 hour, like that, or based on a specific MB. So if I specify some 300 or 400 MB, then the content will be replaced. Here instead of GB, let me go for MB and specify 100 MB. So that's the size I am giving it. Save data to a file for later analysis, and maximum file size is 100 MB, and maximum number of file is 5. That means 500 MB will be used. Then on a round robin basis, the older file will get replaced by the new content. So If you want a location, you can click the browse button, and let's go to C drive temp 1. Trace student table, that's the file name we are giving. It is mapping with our session name. So it will be easy to map the, so once you created, you will see the new session will get created here, and in your physical drive you will have the file name with a mapping session name, right? So that's a good practice, and we provided the file name here. That's all, C temp 1, and this is where we will capture our extended event, and the file extension, if you notice, it is XEL file. So here by default enable file rollover is selected. That means if all 5 files are filled, then the first file will be rewritten. Let's have that option. Now let's click next here, and you can see the summary that tells what are all the options you selected, and session name is a student table monitor. Auto start is off, right? Here we switched it off. Template, so this is the template we are using, XE batch tracking. Then events to capture, these are all the event, and this one we added through the wizard. By default all these 3 are previously in selected state, and we added a SQL statement completed event. Then in the global field, by default there were some field that got in selected state, and what we added is username and database name. Then in the session event filters, so this is the filter we added in the additional filter, and these are all the default filters. Finally, in the session target, so that information we are not able to review here. If you need to generate the script, you can click this, and it will generate the script in the background. So once you click script, it will generate the extended event session in the background, and if you want to create a job out of it, you can do that. Now I am closing it. So let's click finish, and once you click finish, you will see a new extended event session. So here it shows success. So start the event session immediately after session creation. Watch live data on screen as it captured. So we will pick both the option. So what happens now when we close this dialog, the session will get started automatically. And here if you see, at this time it is in non-started state or in stopped state. Once I click close, the session will start, and you will see the UI as well. Let me click close here, and if you see, this is the session started and monitoring is going on. Now we will open a new query window, and here monitoring is going on. We will set the PEPS database. So the student table already exists, so we can leave this. So here I am executing delete from student first, 5 rows affected, and you can see there are multiple event captured once I execute that statement. So the captured events are SQL statement completed, and when you scroll here you can see use pubs SQL batch completed. That will also show batch text is use pubs. RPC completed, that will also so this is the SQL stored procedure, and that is selecting the table here. SQL statement completed, batch completed. So delete from student, and batch will show delete student data, delete from student, right? So if you double click it, you can see the SQL text in a nice way. So here it is shown in single line, right? Now we will go ahead here and run this as a batch. And when I come back here, so that was our previously selected one, right? And here if you see, there are 3 statement SQL statement completed: 1, 2, second insert, 3, third insert. And in batch completed you will see all text, all 3. So this is called batch, and the previous ones are statement completed. That means even though we selected all 3, statement completed will log 1 entry for each insert, but batch completed states that all 3 statements are executed in one go. And you can see that here SQL batch completed all 3 statements, right? So that's all here in this video. Since this is a continuous running process, we have to go to management and student table monitor, right click and stop the session, and we can close it. So extended events are useful to capture numerous events, and when you go through the wizard you can look at the description of each event and learn from there by reading the description. There are plenty of events that you can capture, and also these events are grouped nicely in the extended event UI. So you can easily go through all the description and master it. That's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.